Folks, welcome back. I hope you're all well. Right, little pattern for this afternoon, this evening. It's no secret that I do love fishing with dabblers for rainbow trout on the big reservoir, so I thought I'd share with you a couple of my dabbler patterns that I like to use. And this one is going to be the Mosaic dabbler. No, it's not tied out of that Mosaic that costs more per gram than smack. It's tied from a Mosaic fritz, but it has a lovely reflective quality in the water, and it's one that I've often got the trout chasing on high up in the water. So let's just crack on with it. Hook and device is a 175 size 10. Thread I'm going to be using for this is a UTC 70 in black. Okay, so let's just work that on the hook. As always, enjoy the videos. Please click like, click subscribe. Support's been tremendous so far. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, so the thread's on there now. So with your usual dabbler patterns, you would tie in a tail here. We are going to add one. It doesn't add an awful lot to this pattern, but we're going to add one. So I've just selected a hen hackle there, black hen hackle, and I'm just going to strip out a nice section of the hen hackle there, peel it back and pop it in. Because we're using a fritz on the body, this doesn't actually make an awful lot of difference, but I'll add it in here. So we'll just offer that up just so it comes over the back of the hook. Keep this comp legal, so there we go, and trim off the waist. Body for this is this stuff is Mosaic 10mm Mosaic fritz, and it's got lovely reflection quality to it, and I do like using this in these little dabbler patterns. I've never used the other stuff that's doing the rounds on eBay, but I've certainly used this in Mosaic, and I just like it because it's reflective. It's got lots of different colours. Basically it's a sparkler, so we're just going to catch that in there down here by the tail, and then bring your thread up the hook. And we're going to wind this on in touching turns all the way up, just trying to stroke those fibres back as we do it loosely. Bring them round. I've had so much success with dabblers, mainly for me being a pulling fly, high in the water on a slow glass, fast glass, tip lines, very, very good. I do like them when there's a really, really big wave on. I mean, we all know that rainbows love to come up in the water when there's a big wave on, and I've often used a team of 2 or 3 dabblers to good effect, pulling them back through the wave. They just hit them like an express train. They're bedding nicely, and they've got that bit of attraction to them. They whiz past the trout's nose and they can't help themselves. So there we are. We're not going to quite go all the way up here to the eye, all right? We're just going to finish off there, giving ourselves a little bit of room. Just bring that around and finish it off up there. I also use these in UV and various types of silvers, and they're all tied in a very, very similar sort of way. So we'll just pull that back from the hook eye there. Now I'm going to put a little collar in here. I'm going to put a little bit of hackle in here just to give it an extra bit of flash. We all know how much rainbows love a bit of orange, so I use a little bit of fiery brown. This is a dyed fiery brown hen, and I'll just select a feather out of that. Okay, and we're just going to peel this back and catch this into the hook somewhere up here. Just let's prep this bit. So just open that up like so, and we're just going to peel a couple of these back to give us a gap to tie in on. Pop that in. We only want a couple of 2 or 3 turns of this, because we're not going to overdo it with this orange. So just it goes, and we're just going to bring that round once, just pushing those fibres back twice. That's all I want on here. I don't want loads on here, just a couple of turns like that, just to give it a suggestion of that orange, and then bring the thread up, catch it in and secure. Lovely. And trim the waist off. That's great. Just gives it this little flash of orange up there at the front of the hook. Okay, wing for this, as with all standard dabblers, is your bronze mallard. Okay, and we're just going to select a bunch of this from the mallard up here and have a nice healthy pinch. What we want to do is try and get all these tips lined up if we can, so they're all roughly the same length. Quite a generous pinch. That's going to do me. Pull that off, and this is where we've got to sort of pair this up. Just sort of cinch this in a little bit. Don't want to layer it on top of each other. I want to keep the feathers so they splay out at this end here. We just want to get it so this bottom part here thins out. Just easier for us to catch it in the hook. So when I'm happy, that's about right there. Just going to offer that up to the hook, and that's about as far. I just want that to come back over the bend there. I don't want it to go miles over the bend, just back over to the bend, and I'm just going to lay that on the hook. So just so it's cloaked to the other side, I'm just going to put a loose wrap, 2 loose wraps around the head there. Now at this point I can adjust the length of that, you see, just by pulling this now. I can just get that length where I want it to be. I don't want it to be too long. So I think that's a little bit too long. I'm just going to pull that back through. That's it, just to shorten it. Lovely. So I'm happy with the length there. Now what I want to do is I want to cloak this. I want to wrap this round the hook. So I'm just going to push that round the hook. Just like so. So it cloaks the hook. It just comes over on the right hand side here on my side. So just come around that hook. Take your time with this. There. It's the same on my side there. It's just come around nicely. Lovely. So we're going to finish that. A couple of tight turns in now. And let's lock that down. Let's lock that in. Bring the thread forward of the waist. And then just trim off nice and tight. And finish that head. You could put a beard in here if you wanted to. I'm not going to bother with this. I think that's pretty well dressed as it is. Yeah, that's looking good. I'll just mess around with that in a second. Let's just finish that head off. Loads of fuss. When it gets wet, it goes like a little arrow, because none of this material here holds water, and it zooms through the water and the rainbows just lash out at it. That's nice. I like that. That's looking pretty good actually. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. You just see that orange just kicks through there underneath it as well, and it just pops through. Nice. Pretty straightforward, pretty easy fly to tie. Yeah, my preference is for pulling these fish them nice and quick. Plenty of the guys that I fish with regularly, they like to just twiddle them nice and slowly, nice and steadily. They seem to work in all sorts of conditions, but particularly for me, a big wave. Love these in a big wave. Especially the fish have been a bit finicky. They've seen a lot of pulling blobs, and they've seen a lot of the usual stuff. 2 or 3 of these whizzed across their noses, and you'll soon pay attention. You can see that nice mosaic comes through there, catches the light as I turn that, and that all gets lovely and wet. It's a cracking looking fly. So something a bit different there, but yeah, definitely there in your list of trout flies. You should definitely have a few of these in the box, all sorts of different patterns, and I'll try and put a couple more varieties out, maybe give 1 or 2 of my secrets away. But as always folks, I hope you enjoyed that, and thanks for watching, and yeah, click like, click subscribe, and I'll catch up with you soon. Thanks very much.